But what I thought was really interesting about, as I was digging into your background, is you've actually got a Strava run club, which I think is so genius, right? Because because here's the thing. I mean, and for the audience, I know this sounds kind of abstract, but hear me out. The thing about social media as a PT, for example, is that it may be hard, of course, right? But the actual really difficult thing is even if you explode on social media, you can only really serve the patients that are within 20 minutes of you. Now, let's for a moment put aside info products and whatever. Just for practical purposes, the average business owner, like if they really ended up blowing up on TikTok, that's cool. But how do you monetize that when you might have 1 million views all over the world, but you live in Kelowna, British Columbia, and there might only be 60,000 people within a 10-minute or 10-mile radius, 20-mile radius. And so, but what you did there is like, it's so fascinating with Strava is that you're going deeper into the niche. Like most people won't know what Strava is, but if you're an athlete, Strava is like basically what LinkedIn is to professionals. Strava is to athletes. Like I look at my Strava every day. I'm like, oh, who's this weirdo that keeps liking my runs? And so, but that's so genius. And I think there's a lesson in that for people here, right? It's kind of like, oh, you want to work in pediatric PT? Well, I don't know. Maybe rather than hanging out at the local business networking club, you sponsor the local kids soccer team, t-ball league, baseball league. By the way, that's super cheap. It's nothing crazy. These are like 6-year-olds. It's not like they don't need like fancy dinners. It's $200 to get on the logo on the shirt, So I just think it's really fascinating though. Like your ideas are really, I just wish more people talked about this because I never want to make these things about, the business I run or anything like that. But what's really difficult, I will say, about our business is that we often meet a lot of PTs, OTs, and things like that, are struggling with their business and nothing we or anybody else can do will help them because they just can't break out and get enough patients to keep it working. And it's because like nobody is really amplifying these kinds of conversations. Like, hey, cool, you got your degree from whatever. Okay, cool, you got credentialed with the payer. Okay, cool, you leased a space. Okay, but now you're sitting there and you're waiting for somebody to walk through the door. That's not cool. Like maybe we should have spent 80%. So here's the thing I'll say, and I'll be quiet. I would argue that for most people starting their careers, and maybe even starting their business, the counterintuitive thing I would say is once you've got the degree or once you've like committed to starting the business, I would say 80% of your time should be spent on marketing and branding and maybe 20% of the time on everything else. And before all the nerds get on me like, well, when are you going to see patients? You're going to be working more than 8 hours a day when you first start out. I don't care who you are. So let's just agree that you're going to have to see the patients, and that's like that's the standard. But 80% of your time should be thinking about marketing and branding because it's the only way to stand out.
If you'd like to learn more about Strata PT and see how our EMR and RCM works, head over to stratapt.com to book a demo.